一体どうしようこの想いをどうしよう天の奥をザラメが溶けてくようになりそうどこバチライで笑っちゃりそう今この世で君だけ大正解
Alright, hello everyone, my name is Ethan Snow, and today I'll be covering a musical and narrative analysis of the Chainsaw Man Reze arc movie. Furthermore, this presentation argues that music can transform a simple interaction into a moment of vulnerability and internal conflict that mirrors how the main character feels. You know, in the song you just heard, the lyrics read, "What the hell am I supposed to do about these feelings? In the back of my ribs, sugar crystals melt, ready to ooze into puke. Pupils dilated to max, I feel like I'm ready to drown to death. In this world right now, you're my one and only perfect answer." The lyrics here feel so fatalistic and very abnormal for what Hollywood would use to accompany an opening sequence for a movie, but at the same time, purposeful. It not only sets the tone for the vibe of the movie, but also foreshadows the famous pool scene that we'll be analyzing here in a second. Before we break that down, though, we'll need some context. The main character, Denji, is, well, he's simple. Growing up in poverty and with the early death of his parents, he grew up with no guidance or support system, simply doing what he's told by the Yakuza and paying off his dad's debt. His biggest dream was to be able to eat his bread with jam on it. He's not just perverted or simple-minded, he's emotionally underdeveloped, leading to his desires and dreams to be very surface level. He desires physical intimacy and emotional comfort from a girl, but the thing is, as the story progresses, Denji finds himself never feeling fulfilled, constantly chasing new dreams. As his character develops and he suffers losses, Denji begins to wonder if he'll ever just be satisfied with what he currently has. Even when he reaches a point that he dreamed of, it never lives up to the way he dreamed it. It's because of that very concept that Denji becomes easy to manipulate and control. Enter Makima. She doesn't just manipulate Denji physically, she manipulates him emotionally. She offers him the exact kind of connection he's been deprived of his entire life, and because Denji has never had guidance to support, he confuses control with care or compassion. She lays the foundation for how he understands connection, meaning that when he meets someone who offers genuine connection, he doesn't know how to process it. All of that to explain who Denji is as a character, but let's move to the spotlight of the movie.
I'm Reze, by the way. And you? Flower boy?
Reze, serving as the main antagonist of the movie, is a Soviet-trained assassin sent to retrieve the heart of the Chainsaw Devil. But that's part of what makes the relationship so important. She arrived hoping to manipulate him into surrendering his heart to her, but as she spends more and more time with him, she can't help but grow closer to Denji, which finally brings us to the focus of the video, the pool scene.
ダメだデンジ言ったら俺の心もいっちまう
ははわかったさては泳げないからプール怖いんだなほら気持ちいいよ早く早く
In terms of imagery, the scene is already doing a lot. The blue-tinted color palette used here suggests calmness and trust. At first, the space feels dark and conflicted, reflecting Denji's thoughts, but when he jumps into the pool, everything just becomes more vibrant, like he's stepping into something new. Let's also take a second here to look at the body language.
教えてあげるデンジ君の知らないことできないこと私が全部教えてあげる
Denji starts off in this ball, closed off fetal-like position, like he's praying before jumping in. But once he finally falls to peer pressure, you can see how open and vulnerable he is with Reze, which can be followed up by Reze's body language. As the camera pans to her, she's completely open. Her posture is exposed, not just physically, but emotionally. She's saying, "I'll teach you what you've been missing." Words that really touch Denji's heart. That's exactly what he needs, someone to guide him. We see this imagery of the spider eating the butterfly, and we can assume that the spider is symbolizing Reze. She has trapped Denji, she's made him fall for her. But what you may not realize is that the monarch butterfly is poisonous to predators that eat it. This, of course, could be showing that Denji has also made Reze fall for him. And that's what makes this scene so interesting, because everything about it, visually and physically, suggests intimacy. But there's one important factor here we haven't really gotten to yet that really bolsters the emotion of this scene. The score that accompanies this scene starts slow and soft, feeling almost nostalgic in a sense. This is non-diegetic music, meaning the characters can't hear it, but plays an important role shaping how we experience the scene. It uses musical minimalism with simple layering in the form of a 12/8 ballad to convey this welling up of emotions. Everything feels so careful. Because this is an original score, it's able to closely mirror Denji's emotional state moment by moment. The use of the piano and ambient textures create a sense of intimacy, but also fragility. Denji wants this connection, but he's also unsure, inexperienced, and feels like forming this connection might betray Makima. Above all, however, I think the music really is trying to tell us a hidden message. In this scene, I think the music is trying to tell us that Denji is struggling to be vulnerable right now. When the music begins to swell and the dynamic increases, it feels like his emotions are building, and his heart is beating faster in real time. The music gives us access to Denji's internal state. If we listen, the music swells and swells until the build-up drops. That's what stands out to me so much about this track. The pacing. It doesn't just build, it hesitates. There are moments where everything just stops. Complete silence. The music itself hesitates. He's struggling. Those breaks mirror his internal conflict. He wants connection, but he's unsure, inexperienced, and afraid of what it means. This all builds up until the final moment of silence where Denji finally decides to push all of his thoughts aside and just jump into the pool. That's when it happens, an explosion in dynamics. The visuals are vibrant. Denji is experiencing real connection for the first time, and thanks to the music, it's almost like we can feel it with him. This moment doesn't just exist on its own though, it serves as a motif, appearing one more time near the end of the movie during the final battle. The music is much darker, slower, more nostalgic than the first iteration. The intimacy is still there, but it feels tragic. And that's what makes the first moment feel so powerful. The music doesn't just support the moment, it defines it. It turns something as simple as a pool date into something unforgettable. Without the music, the scene would feel visually intimate, but emotionally flat. Everything serves for the audience to realize that for Denji, this isn't just a memory, it's the first time he experiences something real.